Unfortunately, the Boston Celtics couldn't get it done. Ended up losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers 123-116. They do fall in a tie, in a series tie 2-2 for the regular season. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be the Eastern Conference Finals that we remember for generations. This is going to be such a good matchup in the playoffs. Cleveland is a great basketball team. I see why they're number one. But I also know the only team that can keep up with them is the Boston Celtics and vice versa. But that's not really what I want to talk about here on this video. I want to talk about the slander that Jayson Tatum has been receiving because it is uncanny and quite frankly uncalled for. Jayson Tatum is playing his best basketball in his career right now, which is saying a lot considering what he has done so far in his time as a Boston Celtic. So we're going to break down Jayson Tatum's highlights from the game against Cleveland Cavaliers, but also all of the historic moments that he just hit in that ball game alone. Before I hop into that, if you guys have not hit that sub button, go on ahead and do so for me. We go live for every single Boston Celtics basketball game, and we also break down the latest news and rumors surrounding your favorite team, so go on ahead and hit that sub button. As a whole, let's just talk about what Jayson Tatum's doing, all right? This is getting disrespected by Jayson Tatum right now. 26.6 points a game. That should actually be rebounds at 8.7, but he's also about 5.8 assists per game, and he's shooting 45% from the field while 35% from a three-point line, averaging about 36 minutes a game. Anytime Jayson Tatum is in, he absolutely dominates. From start to finish, Jayson Tatum sets the tone. And that's how he should, right? He's coming off the best season. They just won the NBA championship. And then what does he do when he goes up against the Cleveland Cavaliers? 46 points against the number one team in the Eastern Conference. They did not have Jrue Holiday. They did not have Kristaps Porzingis. The only way that Boston was going to be able to compete with the Cleveland Cavaliers is for this stat sheet right here. He was one assist away from another triple-double. When Jayson Tatum has a full box score like this, I don't see how anybody can beat Boston when they're fully healthy. Let me reiterate, because obviously that didn't work out. Jayson Tatum is his best when he is rebounding, assisting, and scoring. Now, Jayson Tatum could have taken away 9 of those assists, and he could have maybe had a 50-burger. When Tatum is spreading out, facilitating, when he is orchestrating the offense, he is one of the best players in the NBA. And then when he turns it around and grabs 2 blocks and some steals, and he did all of this, 33% from the three-point line, 51% from the field with 2 turnovers, as the primary ball handler for 40 minutes against the number one team in the Eastern Conference. The only way Boston was going to compete with the Cleveland Cavaliers without 2 of their starters is if Jayson Tatum took control of all 4 quarters, and that's exactly what he did. And now I'm not gonna be that person and blame the fourth quarter on this loss. But that was Jayson Tatum's least amount of touches this entire game, was the fourth quarter. That's all I'm gonna say. But there's a reason why Tatum is getting the slander. I don't think anybody wants to acknowledge what he has actually done and truly say, yes, he is one of the greats already. He is. I'm not afraid to say it. But there is a reason why people can't accept this. So I'm just going to go on ahead and give you guys the bullet points, right? Jayson Tatum just passed Wilt Chamberlain for total points scored before turning 27. He is now in 6th place, 4 days for his 27th birthday. He did that with the 46 points he scored against the number one team in the Eastern Conference. Why deny it? Why are we denying that he is a top talent? He has all the qualities to be the next face of the NBA. And yet you have analysts out here saying, I haven't seen enough. How have you not seen enough? I keep going. This is all just in one game, by the way. All just in one game. Jayson Tatum's first half was one for the history books. 30 points in the first half with 9 boards and 7 assists. That's the first time in the play-by-play era for those numbers that have been reached in any half. Record-breaking half. Down 2 starters facing the number one team in the Eastern Conference, and Jayson Tatum is setting records. He could have had a triple-double in the first half alone. Why are we denying his greatness? Another one. Jayson Tatum finished the first half with 30 points, 9 boards, and 7 assists. Tatum just became the first player in NBA history to hit 1,500 threes before the age of 27 and the age of 28. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were the only players to hit that mark at 28 years old. All those names I have mentioned, Wilt Chamberlain, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Hall of Famers. They are names you talk about when you talk about greats in the NBA. Why are we not addressing Jayson Tatum the exact same way? Jayson Tatum is one of the best players in the NBA right now, but he is not being treated like one. What else does Jayson Tatum need to do? Does he need to face the number one team every single game and drop those kind of points for you guys to finally realize that he is a generational talent? 46 points, and he dropped 30 of them in the first half. He did not slow down. He went toe-to-toe with Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. He went toe-to-toe with 3 All-Stars. Jayson Tatum is great. He's great. And he deserves that love. I cannot believe we are still disrespecting Jayson Tatum. This has to be the most disrespected NBA champion I've ever seen. I mean, this is unreal. Let me ask you that. Is Jayson Tatum the most disrespected champion in the NBA? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I know you guys are seeing everything that I'm seeing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I am going to talk a little bit about the Cleveland Cavaliers Boston Celtics game here in just a moment. But first, let me tell you guys real quick about our sponsor on today's show, and that is Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I'm playing Prize Picks every single game day, and I want you guys to join me and 10 million active users who are playing it across the country. It's super, super easy. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. That's right, up to 1,000 times your cash. You can play Prize Picks in over 30 different states, including Cali, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. My Prize Picks for tonight's games were both Goblin Picks, which pretty much means Goblin Picks are easier hits, but they don't pay as much when you do win. The Demon version of that is a lot harder to come true, but it does pay a lot more. So I took Evan Mobley to have more than 11.5 points, and I took Derek White to have more than 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. These were both winners. So if you guys want to go on ahead and download the Prize Picks app, use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Like I said, the only way for Boston to compete with Cleveland, who was on an 8-game win streak, without Jrue Holiday and without Kristaps Porzingis, is a Tatum takeover. Is a complete Tatum takeover. And it doesn't get more. It doesn't get much better than that. 46 points, 9 assists, 16 rebounds. It was a damn near perfect game from Jayson Tatum. I absolutely have no bad things to say about his performance. And I'll also reiterate this, because I've seen a lot of love on the Cleveland Cavaliers, which they absolutely deserve it. And they're getting a lot of love because they're talking about the great duo that is Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. I'll do you one better. Jaylen Brown had 37 tonight. Donovan Mitchell had 41 points. Darius Garland had 20. Jayson Tatum had 46, and Jaylen Brown had 37. This is the duo. The best duo in the NBA. Point blank, period. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are the best duo in the NBA. 54% from the field, 66% from the three-point line. And tell you what, Jaylen Brown was questionable up until about 2 hours before game time with a hip contusion. Need I say more? And then, of course, when you add on Tingus Pingus and Jrue Holiday, it gets a lot better. But Derek White doing his part as well. 16 points, 5 assists, 1 board, 47% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. This game was absolutely controlled by Boston for all 3 quarters. Then they went And unfortunately, the fourth quarter did go to Evan Mobley, who ended up scoring 9 points off the fourth quarter. That started a Cavaliers lead, which is very hard to try and catch back up to, especially when you're missing two starters. But you got to give credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. 41 points, 50% from the field from Donovan Mitchell. This is a guy that scored 3 points in the first quarter. So everything else, 38 points, was 3 quarters, 38 points. Donovan Mitchell had a great game. So did the Cleveland Cavaliers. They deserved to win the fourth quarter. I don't know if they deserved to win the whole ball game. I thought that Boston did a phenomenal job with taking on the number one team in the Eastern Conference and not having a full roster. And the good news is that now we have seen the Cavaliers at full strength with DeAndre Hunter. And whoever said DeAndre Hunter is only on the Cavaliers to lock up Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, please tell me when that starts. Okay. Anyways, the game obviously went to the Cleveland Cavaliers. It deserved to. But I just think overall the moral of this story is the slander needs to stop for Jayson Tatum. It needs to stop. It doesn't get much better than this. It really doesn't. We're watching greatness, and we're denying it. We aren't. Celtics fans aren't, but a lot of people are. So, with that being said, Boston now will have to face Cleveland, possibly in the Eastern Conference Finals, but the regular season is now done. My last question for you guys here is, if you think Tatum is a top 5 player, go on ahead, hit that 0 button for me. Spam it, put it in the comment section down below. As always, we'll talk about everything here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. So if you guys are looking for a one-stop hub, completely free, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me.